Alright guys, back again. This time I'm talking about my my kayak. It is the Sun Dolphin Boss 12 SS. I have done some modifications to this. A lot of my camera mounts, well, some of my camera mounts, like this one here, you'll probably never find. This was actually a friend of mine. I am kind of a Yankee. I reuse a lot of stuff. It was actually a headrest off of one of their wheelchairs, and it was getting old. They had to get a new one, so you know, I kind of took it off of their hands for them because they were going to throw it away. But there was a lot of usable parts on it. So, you know, this was the mount for the headrest, and let me bring you guys in and I'll show you kind of what it is. But this thing has like a little groove into it, and it has a groove that goes into that there, and that kind of goes in and just latches on, and I mean, it's really secure. So on my Kodak SP1, this is actually the mount for it. So there's one of my mounts. I've got all kinds of different mounts. These are the Scotty track mounts. I use those, and I put PVC into them. This is my homemade cup holder, and I have to have this because you guys will get to know I don't go anywhere without coffee. And you know, it just has the little, sorry if that blinded you, but it has the little T-nut on there, and that's actually a toilet nut bolt up through here with a nut on the end that the washer was big enough just to press that nut into, and it worked out really great for me. So I mean, this just slides onto there, hand tightens down, and I mean, this thing is just solid. And then of course it came with the fishing pole holder, and they say that these are Scotty mounts. They are not Scotty mounts. When I had bought this, I started buying some of the Scotty mounts because I figured that they were all the same. The guy at Scotty told me that if these do not say Scotty on them anywhere, which they have all of their stuff, it says Scotty on it. So if it doesn't say Scotty, it is not a Scotty mount. But anyways, there is a different size for this one and for this one. This one is a lot smaller than what the inside of this is. These will, you can actually put 3/4, or no, I'm sorry, 1/2 inch Schedule 40 PVC into these, and they work phenomenal. And then I went and bought a pack of, I believe that it was a pack of 4 of these off of Amazon, and I went and took a piece of PVC, it's an actual PVC cap, and I took a 1/4 bolt and put up through it so that way if I had some PVC on here that I was using for a camera mount, these things fit perfect on them, and they're easy to set up. And then I keep the oversized carabiner in here, because if you are trying to pull this kayak in from out of the water, it is so much easier to have a rope onto there to actually pull this thing in. So I leave that in here all the time. Now here is an actual Scotty mount, and you can see, well, hopefully you can see, the Scotty mounts are bigger than what the ones are that come on your boat. So if you start getting into this, or start buying Scotty mounts because you're hoping that, you know, they will fit into here, they won't. The original Scotty mount will not fit into there, but they are perfect for the other Scotty mount. So this is one of my camera mounts that I use. I use this one here too so far. Now I did add 2 of these Scotty mounts. These are the locking Scotty mounts. And this is where I get my overhead view from, and those do lock into there really nice. And of course what I did on mine is, instead of buying those little plates that go into there, I just ground mine off completely and then put a piece of an old piece of tire off of there. I cut a circle out of it and used a piece of an old tire and put into there, and it tightens down really good. Of course, there's another Scotty mount, and these things are great. I have a fish finder that I put onto here, and I use these little Scotty mounts to mount those also. Now, if you guys are looking into getting one of the Boss 12s, the Ozark Trail Angler 12 is the exact same kayak. The only difference is Sun Dolphin makes those strictly for Walmart, and so Walmart is able to use their own label on those. And you know, when I first got this, you know, looking on the pictures and things like that, that bag is actually pretty deep. I mean, it's not very deep in here. I mean, it's maybe a hand length. But these things are pretty good size. I think it's like 10 or 12 inches this way, and then I think it's like 7 or 8 this way. And these things lock tight. The last time that I had this out, I never got any water into it at all. So I mean, you know, all this stuff fits into here. I do keep it into here, so that way when I go out on this kayak, that way I don't forget anything. So much easier just to leave it in there. I mean, these things hold 500 pounds or 545 pounds, I believe. I even throw my life jacket into here. All right, so once it's in there, it actually just slides around pretty easy. I always throw my chair up inside in the front, and this little stake here, I tried to use it last time I was out. I was hoping that this would work. It's only a 5-foot stake, and what it was actually for was, let me go on the other side. Okay, so I did end up putting on the anchor trolley system on here. It is a cheaper version. I don't believe it is even a name brand. But when I put mine on here, it actually had these little plastic, I can't remember what they call these, but it had these little plastic loops onto here, and I didn't think that they would be strong enough, so I went and splurged on the stainless. And I put these pads onto here because I didn't want it beating up my kayak and rubbing a hole through it, because they do, you know, when you pull this back and forth, they don't always stay in place. And so I put those on there. They are self-adhesive. I believe I got those at Lowe's, and I don't remember what those were called. I'll have to check on those, and I'll let you know. But they are self-adhesive, but so the whole reason why I got this pole here, and it's considered a tree stake, and I got it over at Walmart. I think I spent like $5 or $6 on it, but these go down into the ground, so it keeps you stable. And of course, you know, once you get to where you're going, you want to anchor this thing down so that it doesn't move. So, you know, that's what I used it for. I was hoping to be able to use it in some shallow water, like, you know, 3 or 4 foot, and I had forgotten to put this piece here on, and so when I went and anchored up, I was still floating all around, so it didn't do me any bit of good. But yeah, I keep all these. Oh, the whole reason why I was leaving that out. But this is fiberglass. It's a fiberglass rod. I believe it's about 5/8, 3/4 of an inch thick. So with this chair, I mean, it's fabric. I mean, this thing is nice, and it has this little like hook on here to go and keep your seat down while you're in transport. I keep, you know, some other bags in here. I keep my camera mounts down into here. You know, and I've got all different sizes. I've even got my little homemade anchor in here. But yeah, I mean, this thing fits in here really well if you put it in here first. Oh, and there's my other camera mount. Cannot forget about that one. This is one, I got this design off of Kayak USA. I watch a lot of his videos. He does a lot of DIY. And he hasn't put out a video yet that I have not liked. So these are just a boomstick from Walmart. If you want, I'll put a link to his video. He goes into more descriptive than what I can, and he does a better job than what I have too. But these are the Scotty mounts, the ends, and they just fit right down into here and then lock right into place. And this is how I get my overhead view when I do my kayaking. Because I mean, these things, they will come out quite far. I mean, granted, I don't think I'd ever have mine up this far, because I think it'd put too much strain on the kayak itself. But yeah, I think I keep it up about that high. And with these little ball mounts, this is the same one that I showed you up front. But these, I mean, you can adjust them any way that you need to. And, you know, when you got them loose, they'll actually rotate 360 degrees. And so, I mean, they're actually really nice to put on here. That I put one of these Scotty mounts on both sides. I wanted to make sure that I had it. I put these track mounts on here. They are a Scotty. I believe these are the 6-inch. Maybe these are the 8-inch. But I figured that, you know, I would be able to have my cup, my coffee cup sitting up here, and while I was rowing, and that was not the case. Last time that I went out, I actually had to take my coffee cup off of here, so these are kind of almost useless to me at this point, but I'm not going to take them out because then I have all the holes in there. I'll find some kind of use for it. But these chairs are really really comfortable. They've got a strap on both sides to adjust to how far you want to lean back. There's actually straps in the back of here and that goes underneath of your seat so that you can tension how tight you want the back of it. Kind of like in your vehicle when you got that lumbar type deal. But this will come up. Let me get this thing out of the way. Alright, so this seat will fold down, and it will actually fold all the way back out of your way to where you've got more of a platform to where you can stand up and fish off of. And I personally, so far, sorry guys, had to get that seat into place. So now, so far, I like it in the higher position because, you know, with me being a taller guy, you know, I like it like this. And even while sitting in it, you know, you can adjust how you want it. Here's one of my camera mounts. This is one that I will be using up front, and like I said, it's just PVC, and it has the ball mount on top of it, but I don't glue any of it. I do paint it. It makes it easy to where I can actually sit here hands-free now and kind of talk to you guys. So far, this kayak, I love it. Like I said, I've only had it out once, and last year I only got to go out once. So I've got to get more used to kayaking. So this year is going to be a learning experience on how to kayak, because me and my cousin, I've been on a kayak last year, but I only got to get on it once. So I am absolutely no kind of expert. I've watched a lot of Chad Hoover's stuff. I love his channel. Matter of fact, he's one of my featured channels on my page. And, you know, we finally got our shirts. They won't be saying outdoor fun with Ron and Jake anymore. It'll just be outdoors with Ron and Jake. When we first started, we had it as outdoor fun with Ron and Jake. Have us a Patreon account. If you guys decide that you want to help us out, or, you know, help us on some of our adventures, you know, it doesn't have to be much if you guys decide to. I mean, $1 a month, you know, you figure, you know, if you give $1 a month and somebody else gives $1 a month, I mean, that kind of helps us to where we can make some more videos for you guys. It helps us, you know, with fuel, you know, different things while we're out, so that we can bring better videos to you guys. Now, I don't know if you know, but when you first start out, when you get an idea in your head that you want to start doing YouTube videos, I'll tell you this much: do your research, and make sure you got plenty of money, because you know, yeah, you can record off of your phone and things like that, but you know, for if you're doing fishing videos or whatever type of videos that you guys are doing, there's going to be extra expense. So you know, just be prepared. You You know, and it is hard trying to get used to being in front of the camera. I'm still getting used to editing. We've only been doing this since January of 2019. So just please bear with us. Hopefully we'll get better. But let me finish walking you guys through the rest of this kayak. So you know, you got the same size hole in this one as what you do in the front. Granted, I keep all of my, these are a lot of my ropes, and I keep bungees and, you know, extra rope. I keep a saw in here because you never know when you're going to get hung up, kind of like I did in that video, and I did not have that saw at the time. I wish I would have. But yeah, these kayaks for 500 bucks, you know, and if you want a decent little fishing kayak, I mean, by no means is this thing little. By itself, without anything onto it, I believe it's like 78 pounds. So you know, they do give you a pretty nice little handle here. Got your drain plug here. You got another one up front. And I did go and put the these shallow water anchor system on both sides. So that way I didn't have to only anchor from one side. And same thing with the Scotty mounts. I didn't want to just be able to use one side, so I made sure that I put it on both. And Kayak USA, when he goes and does the boomstick, he also puts these in as well. So when I link that video to this one, if you want to see how these go in, and mine does have the mounting plate underneath of both of them, because it definitely makes it a lot more secure. My kayak's been sitting out in the sun for a while today, so it's kind of getting malleable. Seems like they get softer if you don't have them in the water and you just have them in the sun. But you know, that's my kayak. If you guys see anything that I didn't hit on that you want to know about, just send me a message in this video, or you can send us a message on Facebook, on Instagram. You can comment on any of our videos. We answer every question that you guys ask. We try to get to them within that day. Sometimes we do get a little busy. Sometimes we might be out somewhere to where we don't have service. So if we don't get to it that day, we will get to it as soon as we get back to civilization. We're trying to get more videos out here lately, but the weather here in Ohio is crazy. It's raining about 6 days a week, and 1 day a week we get a day like this. As always, like, subscribe, hit that notification. You'll know every time that we go and upload a new video. But I'm going to end this video here, and I appreciate you for listening to me ramble on.